Greetings, freaks and folks, this is Vlad. Hope you're doing good, I'm doing for sure. And right off the bat I want to say, as always, you have timestamps for the short version of the deck tech and to the gameplay down below. And also wanted to lead off by saying, you probably wonder why you see my face during the week, because normally I only upload on weekends. But I figured that it would be every now and then I have the time to maybe split up a video in my production phase. Like the one day I will record the gameplay part of it, and then afterwards I would maybe record the intro like now, and then I will record the deck tech, or maybe I do this once a day and then I edit. Whatever. What I wanted to say here is that sometimes I will split the editing and production part of a video, so I can actually provide you with more content during the week and sacrifice the last little bit of my free time that I have. Hope you appreciate that, but I love to do that as I want to give you a deck that I showcased, I think, like 5 or 6 months from now in the back on this channel. It's none other than You Scared. It's a Fearsome archetype. And this is something I was working on for quite some time. And back in the day, I also said that normally you would run 2 versions of it. Like either you go with this route that I have here, where you try to reduce the power of the enemy, and then you punch through with all these fearsome units that there are. And then you work with Shurima. And the other route would be to go with the Ravecaller, which is the it's this one right here, right? With all these Mist Wraiths creating and the Legions and everything, and then you go with Shadow Isles only. But I figured that I want to go with something not so overused. Like we see the Mist Wraith archetype for quite often now, and I updated this version quite some. For example, I took out one Scrying Sands and added one Quicksand, and we may or may not see this in play in the gameplay that is coming up. Other than that, we also have took out one Buckeye Sandspinner, and I added a new card that is the Sandseer. And in the first place, it's not very synergistic with this deck, because, you know, you repeat the draw effect. Normally it draws you one, and it repeats the effect if you have a landmark. As you can tell, we don't really have many landmarks. The only landmarks that we have is Preservarium. So if we're lucky, we can hit this and draw 2 cards, or like 3 for the least if we have 2 Preservariums in a row, but this probably never happens. Other than that, it's just a really good card. Overall, we have a 5-mana 5/4 with Fearsome, which cycles itself, and what else could you want from a card that is in a deck where you want to go in with Fearsomes? We get supported by Spirit Fire, which was a 3-off before, and I took one out because there is another new card, and that is Dawning Shadow, which is doing quite the same, but at slow speeds, reducing all the enemies' attack by 2, and we take on one really big threat that is either threatening us if we are too slow to close out the game early enough, or we can remove something really beefy that we don't really have the means to reduce its cost to a point where it can't block fearsome units anymore. And this is the main purpose of it. Other than that, we still have Raz Bloodmane. I took out Raz Sandra. I'm really sorry, guys. But this dude, well, was it? There he is, Rasa. Not yeah, Rasa is, you know, he is cool and all, but he doesn't really fit the purpose of this deck. I mean, he has Fearsome, this was why I wanted to have him in, and also to say, you know, I have Raz and Rasa in the deck. But the truth is that Rasa isn't really a good card in this deck, and I took him out to make it more viable. Also, we have a 3-off of Harrowing, which is a phenomenal card. Unfortunately, I have to spoiler, I couldn't really use it in the upcoming gameplay, but it worked wonders for me in off-camera. So I definitely stay by the decision to run Harrowing, at least as a 2-off. Maybe 3-off is a bit too much, but I think we have a lot of control running, or like ping-based things where they want to kill our units, because you can tell it's very fragile. We have Stygian Onlooker, which is a 4/1 if we play him. We have the Direction Torah, 2 HP. We have Elise with 3, isn't too much either. We have Merciless Hunter with 2 HP after the nerf. Then we have Buckeye Sandspinner having 3 HP. Same goes for Nocturne with the same body, 5/3. Seer also 4. Like, none of these are really beefy, besides Raz Bloodman, which is after the buff a 7/7, which is awesome. And this comes into play a lot of the times. So Raz is really a staple, and I think the golden card, the core card of this deck, which I really love to build around, and this is just so much fun to play him. As a finisher, we have Atrocity. If we don't manage to punch through and we are in a bit of a pickle and threaten lethal, we can threaten lethal with the Atrocity instead. And that's basically the whole deck list. Oh yeah, and Unto Dusk is something I actually during the gameplay I had what's it called? Oh yeah, the Stalking Shadows is what I had as a 2 of before, but it turned out I guess I took in so many spells that I missed actually any unit Stalking Shadows 2 times. You will see this in this video. It's horrendous. And then I decided, well, why not going with Unto Dusk, because it does do the same thing. It draws us 1, and also it's a really good activator for Nightfall. We need this for our Stygian Onlooker, which then gets a 4/1 with Fearsome, which is also one of the core cards, and some of the main idea why I wanted to run Stalking Shadows in the first place, because we can then get 2 Stygian Onlookers, and for 2 mana we have a total of 4 attack that is not blockable by 3 like non-Fearsome blocker units, right? So I took Unto Dusk into it, and I actually thought this also goes well with Nocturne. We still have Nocturne as a unit that reduces all the attack by 1 as a Nightfall effect, and we can also, if we manage to level him at some point, which is not very likely in this deck, by the way, but we can do this, and then we can trigger his Nightfall effect in this state or in his normal state with the Unto Dusk. If we have Nightfall effect activated, we can activate the Nightfall effect of these, which is just awesome. At burst speed is also a very important part here. So very neat interactions in this deck. We have Preservarium to kind of refuel. I had, I think, Glimpse before in the deck, and I also took that out because I figured Preservarium is just overall a more reliant drawing cards, right? They can deny your Glimpse Beyond, and they can't deny your Preservarium. So yeah, that's all there is to it. You really want to have these Runeterra and ELISE in your opener. You would also always mulligan for these. It's also likely that you can level ELISE at some point, because we do have a full set of Runeterra, ELISE, and the Franciscura. So it's actually possible to level ELISE in this deck, and then all your non-Fearsome units will have Fearsome then after that. So if you have any Spiderlings living around with your ELISE, created by your ELISE, they will also have Fearsome. And I think now I do have everything covered. By the way, all these vulnerable mechanics from Nocturne, from Merciless Hunter, and from Kai Sandspinner is actually to give vulnerable to something that you want to pull out, that is a Fearsome blocker, and then you want to put it last, or you want to attack it with your weakest unit to threaten the biggest amount of damage. This is the main purpose of this deck. And yeah, and now with this very long ass deck tech, we jump into the too long didn't watch. I think we really need it. So hello, very lovely lads with little time. This deck is completely built around the effect of Fearsome. So all our cards are Fearsome. We also want to reduce the attack of the enemy unit, of the enemy board, by things like Spirit Fire, where we can reduce it at burst speed and have an offensive Spirit Fire. We also have a Dawning Shadow to reduce all their attack. We also have Quicksand to reduce attack, and also we have one of Scrying Sands. So a lot of neat ways, as well as the Nocturne, which is also reducing attack. So basically the idea is reduce their attack to 0 and attack them face, and so they can block our Fearsome units. We don't really have any units that don't have Fearsome besides the Bekai Sandspinner, but this is also a really neat card to reduce attack. And other than that, we have Harrowing to then close out the game in case our boards gets wiped quite a lot. That's a wrap up, and if you want to know every card and what they do, you can always jump back to the quite long deck tech. And yeah, for you other guys, just enjoy the upcoming gameplay. I think it's definitely worth to watch, and I'll catch you guys with a very special video. I will spoiler that at the weekend, so stay tuned for that. For Christ's sake. I didn't press record. This actually reminds me of Mogwai not pressing the record button. But I just wanted... This is not progressed too much. We had a really good opener. I also want to show this round, because I think it's we're pretty much high roll here. And you see why the Fearsome is actually a really neat thing to have. Okay, he does have one blocker now. He definitely needs to block the Elise here. I could also not attack with them and level Elise, but I don't think it's worth it. I want to go for the damage. We have Harrowing anyways. Clear 2 of his units. So young. And we get rid of a Fearsome blocker there as well. That's really important. Man, I'm sorry you missed those first 3 rounds. But I hope you can, you know, reconstruct what happened there. Now we look into Sands here, which is amazing here. Cycling itself. We could also go for Stalking Shadows. But I think Sands here is just fine here, which serves the same purpose, right? Just drawing a card. And the fact that he doesn't have any Fearsome blockers for my Fearsome units is it's quite funny. Oh baby. There is a Nocturne. And he's in a lot of trouble now. Like, I mean, you could argue it's not very hard to win against the Kindred deck, but I'll take this as this deck isn't too terrible after all.
We are nothing without each other. You are bound to me.
He starts even to do this. That's very cute. We look into Stalking Shadows into Nocturne next turn plus Scrying Sands, which is amazing. Oh, he even needs to start playing this without any real value. Maybe he has another one in hand, because could be a possibility. Unfortunately, I can't play these 2, so I will just... Okay, I missed there. That's awesome. So let's go with that. I could have given vulnerable to the Zilean, to be fair. And yeah, I think that's game. Scrying Sands into Raz. Let's save. Boom! First win. Yes, more. Okay, this one is real tough. Well, maybe not too much, because they rely really much on the Eye of the Dragon and these little dragon links that are created, and they can't block Fearsome units, which is amazing here. But I want to mulligan away all these very slow cards. Like Harrowing won't do a whole lot, he has Deny anyways. Same goes for Atrocity, and Raz is just too expensive. But this is a nice curve. Like especially the Runeterra on turn 2 feels really good. And on turn 4 we can Stygian Onlooker, like Frenzy Skidra into Stygian Onlooker, which is amazing. But we go with this first. He doesn't really have good removal for it, I think. Don't do terrible things. Yeah, he might level his Akshan in time and get value out of him. It's very unfortunate that he finds him on turn 1. I think I want to go with the Bukai Reaper. I could also go with this Frenzy Skidra, but... Alright. Well, it is a Fearsome blocker. But what you gotta do? Yeah, I want to go with this. Go with this first, and then we curve into Stygian Onlooker. He could have a Concussive Palm as well.
We each hold a world within.
He could still have it. We'll see about that. Maybe he puts it on my bird, on the scary penguin. Probably does not. Attack like this. He can only block one of these. If he blocks with the Bukai Reaper, I'm totally fine with that. Other than that, we push some nice damage here. Okay. He decides to let his Tasty Faithful Glyph. But he takes a real big hit for that. And he needs to play 2 more spells to actually get value out of the dragon. Let's see if he does. Like the little, creating little dragonling to get HP back. Okay, he doesn't. Well, the Tasty Faithful is a bit of a problem. Yeah, unfortunately this kind of saves him the game, I guess. But we... oh no! We get to remove it right away. That's really good. So we go with this. Okay, there's the Lee. I want to go all in. May as well. I want to push as much damage as I can. And next turn we look into another Frenzy Skidra, buff all of our spiders. And get this Lee Sin also down to... wait, what? Oh, he wants to create a Dragonling. He's kind of scared, so this is a really good thing. That he like kind of wastes his units here, his spells. Akshan as well, going up to 3 attack. But we do have this in our back. Stalking Shadows as well, let's see what we get. Missing again, what? Oh boy. Well, it's all about the spiders then. He comes to palm. He can't double palm. Like, he can't anyways because he doesn't have the mana, but he doesn't have the space either, right? So he could fish for something here with his Relic of Power. Yeah, this is something you do in the first place. Or he gets this attack back, okay. That's also an option. We go in. Actually really amazing that he resorts to this as an attack boost.
Our enemies cannot hide.
Blocks 1 for free with the Lee Sin as well. Was to be expected. Also expected that he would buff something here. He gets rid of his Akshan, which is awesome. And we stay with 2 more spiders. He's down to 4 cards. His Lee Sin is 3 away from leveling, so not too far. And we have 3 Harrowings, okay.
Good people don't look the other way.
Huh, alright. I guess we drew very bad.
A wise retreat.
Okay, he needs a spell, I guess, to trigger his Lee Sin.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Alright, here's the Absolver. I guess it's game as well. Game already. Yeah. Classic. Classic Lee Sin action. Yeah. I would say GG, but at this point I don't really like this deck. It is what it is. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, this one is Thresh and Viego. Another classic, where I definitely want to keep the Dawning Shadow, because if Viego goes down I need to remove him badly. Other than that, I want to mulligan these 2, and the Arachnid Horror is almost always a keeper. Love seeing the Harrowing, but now I need some more units. There we go. Because we need units in the first place to feed the Harrowing, right? Let's see if he has any Fearsome blockers. Could have the... okay, he does not. That's good for us. He does want to have his 4 mana Viego, or the 6 mana Snake. Alright. I think that's an okay Frenzied Skirra. Because if he wants to attack with the Gleaming Great Lookout, I gotta preserve my unit. And his Encroaching Mist doesn't do any damage. Feels good overall, yep. I guess I'll just mess with this Hunter. And that meal of them. He's in a rough spot. He could Concussive Palm. It's always a good answer to... I actually wanted the Frenzy Skidra to die, because I get more value out of him from the Harrowing. If I get it back. Alright. That's a heavy investment. And he does have the ability to play his Snake now, the 6 mana. The normal 7 mana, which now costs 6. If he plays Viego, I think I will remove it right away. Thresh, huh? Do I care too much about this? Probably don't. Oh, you. Alright. Go
There's
with the
nothing
spider.
to fear.
Queen. And next turn I think the snake is coming down, the 6-mana one, and then I can Dawning Shadow it. Oh, we should play Wild Feast on that. Does he have any 2-mana? He maybe has this suck 2 HP from 2 units, right? This hand feels awful. Not gonna lie. I guess I want to pass. Yeah. To force his pass back.
Patrol 1, Patrol 2, Patrol 3.
I know that I'm playing into a Viego development, but I don't really care. Russ is just too much value here. Having him in on the board and getting him back from the harrowing is just awesome. He gets to do that. Interesting he doesn't attack with the green at lookout. What is his hand? Doesn't play anything. Because he only will play palm if I open attack, I will develop here. If he goes with the big snake, I will remove it with the Dawning Shadow. Yeah. There we go. This will make it so that the Thresh is close to leveling, but I think I have to live with that. Alright. He does have Deny. So we'll attack only with this. Forced to block with the snake. Okay, we get damage in. Getting out this this Deny is also really important. And I think I want to Spirit's Refuge this turn. Like, what are all these spells, man? Where are my units? Don't really get it.
Practice, team.
The Spirit Fire looks amazing. This looks even better.
Roll them over.
Roll them over! And killing this Thresh is also feels really good. Alright. Good thing we have tagged the Quicksand in. Was very late addition, but now I'm really happy that I did add it. Because this is just so much value. Oh my god. To say it in Mogwai's words. Alright. He spends a lot of resources to keep his Hydrovine alive here. I hope Thresh dies first. Should be in the order. Yeah. Awesome. Alright, unfortunately... I mean, he's 4, right? He does go below 2 HP, or 2 attack. Yeah, I guess I want to do this. Because this will put him into Atrocity range. And yet again, he doesn't want to block with his Hydrovine. If he does have another barrier, I will preemptively Atrocity. Okay, he does not. Do an occasional develop.
In the shadows.
No need to go for Atrocity now. We'll just see how... what else he plays. Like, he needs to do something about this board, is his problem. And before he doesn't, I don't need to commit my Atrocity. Alright. That's one of the feasts. Don't have to do anything else. I got my board. Okay. I think now I do want to do this, because he doesn't have the triple Wild Feast hand. I don't believe it. But he shouldn't have any more pings. Oh, even needs to Vengeance this baby, the value. Yeah, let's just draw some, because... yeah, that's what I like to see. But I think I don't know. Let's go with that. I could end it with Harrowing, right? But I think this is just enough. Yep. Got him.
That wasn't so bad now, was it?
It wasn't, right? Okay, some more aggro. What are we facing? Oh, this Sand Spinner could help me to get rid of Poppy. What are we attacking? They're attacking on evens, so he attacks with Poppy on 4. So I think I want to keep this Sand Spinner. Also want to keep the... Do I want to keep the Quicksand? I don't know. Probably do keep the Destroying Sands though. Can lead to some favorable fights or combats.
You best believe
Okay.
I don't play.
I think I want to go with that.
Let's cook 'em.
Let's cook him! Good thing is it doesn't help him at all. But is it aggro though? With a Bandle Commando, do you play this? I don't think you do.
I know what lurks
In the shadows. Let's see if he has... Alright.
I know what I'm doing.
He does have that. Yeah, I want to have an attack, so I will do this. And we go with... I think Frenzied Skidred's just awesome, right? We get this 5 damage through. He takes the damage, this is awesome. But this also tells me that he could have the Poppy, right? And because of that, I want to have some jump blockers. We'll just play this.
serve me one way or another.
Oh, and we level ELISE. I didn't even realize that.
Let me change into something more comfortable.
Here comes the Poppy. Yep.
Today's the day I
Find that hero. And here comes the Sand Spinner. Probably on... I will kill Ziggs anyways this turn, I think. Or do I? No, I probably don't. I probably let the Ziggs live. And the reason being, I don't want to block with ELISE. I need 4 damage, right, to kill him. So I need to block with ELISE. And I definitely want to kill the Poppy. Like, this is an indefinitely kill. And this one is like... Yeah, I don't really care too much if this survives. And this Frenzied Skidred looks awesome as well. Okay. He doesn't get to develop the board, I guess. To kill something bigger with a group shot. Let's go with this. I guess we're a Spiders deck at that point. I wonder if I ever kill the Bandle Commando. Or if I just go face. I think I go face, right? I can always Spirit Refuge next turn.
Where's my speech?
pops in your hat. I put it in your
But
hat
do
this
I let
morning.
the Ziggs live is the question. I probably don't, right? Probably do this. If I go for damage, he's down to 3. Maybe that's even better. Yeah, I like that better. Because Ziggs has 2 HP after that, and... Yeah, okay. So... Never mind, he still have 4 HP. I was just thinking of that I will kill him off with the Spirit Fire anyways next turn. I want to keep the spell mana open for Spirit's Refuge. Spirit Fire. He does play a lot of units, but none of these are fearsome blockers. He does struggle with that. That's completely fine. We do this. And I probably do want to block one of these at least. Because I don't want to go down to 7 HP. If he has something like Decimate into Nocturne Fervor, I want to play around that. So I will block with one of these. And I take into account that he has an option to kill my Spider Queen ELISE. But at this point I don't really care. I have my Raz in the back. I have a big ass fearsome attack. I lower his whole attack of his units. Yeah, Scorch Earth. So it is a Bandle Tree deck after all. Ooh, I could even go Nocturne. Ah, we end with Raz, right?
Nothing better than these fellas.
There's nothing better than these fellas. Okay. Very interesting as well, but do you have an answer for that? You probably don't. So it's what you get for mini-morphing the Raz. I guess I'll leave it here because I don't have too much time during the week. I hope I could provide you with another exciting video, extra content, so to say, and thank you guys for sticking around. If you didn't subscribe already, up here you can do that, and there is more gameplay where I tried to go with Anivia, who isn't too viable, spoiler alert, but I had fun playing her anyways. So thank you guys for sticking around, and I'll see you with a very special video on the weekends. Until then, you stay legendary. Vlad out.